Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Guides Online. This is our session for 5 to 9-year-olds. It's the first one we've done, girls, so if you're just joining, please bear with us. We're learning just as much about this format as you are. So, and you probably know more than us because you've been probably doing lots of things for school and other things as well. So this afternoon, we are going to talk about an event that's coming up this Thursday. And what that is I'm just going to show you a little bit about it. Just bear with me. Just bear right with me. We are going to talk about a virtual campfire that's happening this week. So this week on Thursday night, the 30th of April, all around the world, there is a virtual camp being held by a scout group in the UK. So they want as many people, scouts and girl guides and cadets and all sorts of people all around the world to join in, and hopefully we can set a record for the world's biggest virtual camp, because obviously we're not camping how we normally are. So Scouts WA are inviting us, Girl Guides WA, to attend this virtual camp with them. So we're going to talk through a little bit of how we're going to do that. So you'll need to register, and this is the link that you can register with. You can either take a photo of it or a screenshot of it. You can write it down quickly while it's up here. It'll be in the chat function in a little while. We will also, it's also in an email, and you can find it on the Girl Guides WA Facebook page. Okay, so let's keep going. These are the things you need to do for the camp. So we need to, first of all, we need to pack a bag of some things that you would normally take to camp. So obviously we're not really going to camp. We might be in our house. You might have a tent in your backyard. You might put something up inside. You might make a blanket fort in a spare room, or even in your bedroom. Just sleep on the floor of your bedroom. It's all okay, okay? So, and here's some of the things what we're thinking about when we're going to camp of what we need to do. So, when we go to camp, we have to be a bit practical about the things we're taking. So if we were taking shoes, I wonder what kind of shoes that we could take. And Alice is going to have an idea for you.
So as in a shoe, which one do you think would be more appropriate to take to camp? This one. So make sure you type yes or no into the chat. So this is the first one. Would you take this one to a camp?
I can see some people saying no. I like your thinking. Maybe you guys have been to a camp before.
How about this one? Would you take this to a camp?
Excellent. Okay, so I can just say there's a fair few people that have joined us since we first started. So just to go over a few things, my name's Ren, and Alice is here helping me host today. So this is a online Girl Guide meeting for 5 to 9-year-olds for Girl Guides WA, and we're talking about the online virtual camp that's happening this Thursday night. So this meeting is being recorded, so if you have missed anything, you can look at the recording after and you can see the details of anything you've missed so far. So another thing we think about when we're packing for camp, now especially if it's a bright sunny day, and we normally have a lot of sunny weather in Western Australia, we need to protect ourselves. So I'm thinking about hats, Alice. What kind of hats are you thinking we should take to camp?
Well, I have two options here. This is my first option. Do you guys think this is an appropriate hat to wear to camp out in the sun?
You can type your answers into the chat section and we can read them there.
Beautiful pink hat with a pom-pom.
I think it's great for nighttime, Alice, when it's cold, but I don't think so much for a sunny day. Have you got any other ideas for us?
I do. I have one other hat. How about this one?
I can see most people are saying yes. I think you're right, girls. I think it's a much more suitable hat for a sunny day in Western Australia, and especially if maybe you're doing something on the water, maybe you're going canoeing or doing some boating or something where it's really windy. That little tie under your chin will really help keep your hat on and keep you nice and safe and protected from the sun. Let's go back to our screen and see what else we need to think about when we are getting ready for camp. Okay, so we're back to, bear with me. Okay, so these are the things we need you to do. So we need you to pack a bag, include some warm clothes, and that's what we've just talked about. We've talked about shoes, we've talked about a suitable hat if you're going to be playing out in the backyard. So yeah, pick your tent, somewhere that you can sleep for the night that's not your normal bed. So somewhere inside or outside if you can. Build a campfire if you want to. If you live on a country property, you might be able to build a campfire. I live in the city, so I'm not allowed to build a campfire at this point in time, as much as I love campfires. Take part in a guiding activity. You might want to make some s'mores, make something with rope and some knots. See what you think. And we've asked you to help cook a meal as well. Maybe you've got a barbecue. If you do live in the country and you don't have fire restrictions, you might be able to make something on your real campfire, which would be awesome. And we need you to sleep in your shelter of choice on the 30th of April, so this Thursday night. So what we want you to do after that is share your photos. Here are a couple of the hashtags that will be really useful. So Camp at Home Guides WA, or Camp at Home Scouts WA. And then we will see what you're doing, and that'll be really great to share. One of the other things we need to think about, which is really important when we go to camp, and if you've been to camp before, one of the things is at night, sometimes it's a little bit new and we might get a little bit homesick or might be missing things. So it's always really nice, I especially like, is to take something that you can cuddle at night. So we're going to talk about that as well with Alice. So what are you thinking, Alice? What would be a good thing to take to cuddle at night?
Well, I have one of my absolute favourite soft toys. It's this cow. Do you guys think this is an appropriate toy that I can take to camp?
Type yes or no in the chat, see what you think. I'm wondering how you would fit that in your bag, Alice, because that is a pretty big toy. I'm not so sure. People are saying no, Alice. A couple of people are saying yes, maybe they think it's cute. I don't know. Have you got any other ideas for us?
I have a little smaller one. What about this one?
Well, yeah, some people are typing yes. So you can type your answers in the chat section, girls, if you'd like to let us know what you think. Excellent, great work. Okay, so the next thing we're talking about is some of these activities that you're doing involved in your virtual camp, putting up a tent, cooking something outdoors, looking around at nature. Some of these things can be used for some badge work. So let's have a look at that. So we're going to share our photos and we are going to look at the badges. Here's a couple of the badges that you might want to put some of these activities towards. These are just some of the badges. There's lots and lots more that you can use. This is just a couple that I've chosen. One is the hands badge. If you're putting up your tent or tying something some knots or things, you might be able to use a hands badge. Nature, if you're out in your backyard, you might be observing nature, looking at the trees, looking at the animals, looking at the stars. That would work too. The tent badge, which is the little yellow one with the little yellow edge. So if you're creating a tent in your house, putting up a tent in your backyard, those will all work. And the little mousy one over on the side there, that's a computer creator challenge badge. So just by joining in this meeting and joining in the virtual campfire, that's one of the things that can go towards your creator challenge badge. You can also look in your handbook and your Look Wide book and find some other badges that might, some of these activities might go towards some of the badge work in those. You might be working on your Junior BP award. Some of those activities might cross credit with that as well. You can have a look in your handbooks. You can talk to your own leader, because I'm sure you'll be able to contact, even though you might not be seeing your own leader in person at the moment, I'm sure you have contact details for them. You might be able to email them. You might be having Zoom meetings with your leaders just like we are doing now. Or you might be able to even telephone them or text message them. So you can speak to your guide leader about the best way to do your badge work for the virtual camp. Okay, so there's a few other things that I'd just like to talk to you about. Someone's just made a comment. I think Olivia, you've said I have 3, not 2 and 1. I'm assuming that you mean you have the handbook number 3 with the green cover, and that would be fine. You can look in the back of that book, and there's the Discover Challenge off the top of my head. Yeah, thanks, Olivia. She's just confirmed that. So in the back of your handbooks, there's a special age-related badge that you can work on. So you can look in there and see if any of these activities would be, you would be able to tick off any of these activities in your handbook, whatever number it is, 1, 2 or 3. Okay, sorry, I didn't have a picture of the 3. So just a couple of other things while you're outside in your backyard or outside at your house, maybe during this time. Maybe you're sleeping outside, or maybe you're just sleeping inside, but you are going outside, maybe to the park or in your backyard. I'd like you to have a look and see if you can create some nature art. So I'm going to show you what I mean by some nature art. So here are some ideas for some nature art. So you might, oh, sorry, hang on. Let me just share the right thing. Bear with me, ladies. Yeah, I'm trying to get past this. Okay, hang on. That one. See, I'm smiling while I'm feeling challenged. There we go. There we go. That's the one I mean. So here's some nature art that, oh, I don't know why that's doing that. It's jumping back to the wrong screen. Alice, do you have that slide up anywhere?
I'm just trying to get it up.
Okay. Oh, hang on. Maybe I can go on there and move it there. Okay. Bear with me, people. Thank you for being so patient. Remember what I said at the start? Leaders are just learning too, and I'm a lot older than you guys, so it's probably really a bit trickier for me as well. There we go. I think that's the one I'm wanting to share. So I'll just leave it like that. So you can see there's pictures there that have been made out of some sticks, and the one that looks like a person, that looks like some grass or something off a bush. So maybe if you've got some long grass at your house, you could cut off the grass and put it around and make make a person. The next one's looks to me like a little fairy house. So maybe you could use some of your square lashing skills or your rope skills to make a little fairy house for some sticks in your garden. And the other ones just look like some pretty pictures of fish and a butterfly, and a little bit of art made out of something in your garden. Of course, we're not going to go and just pull leaves off trees and flowers off things, because that won't be respecting nature. So we tend to use what's already fallen off the tree, what the tree or the branches or the bushes or the flowers, they're not needing them, so they dropped those flowers or their leaves or their sticks on the ground. So see what you can find. If you live in the country, you might have a lot of access to a lot more things than I would have living in the city, but even at a park or your backyard, or even if you're going back to school this week. I know not everybody's going back to school, but maybe this is an activity you could do with your friends at school. If you are going back to school, you could do it at recess or lunchtime. And if you're staying at home, maybe you could do it with some siblings that you've got at home, or some friends in your street if you're seeing them. Or you could just do it by yourself for a nice relaxing little activity. So that's what I'd like you to do with some nature pictures. And I'd also like you to think about community service. So a part of the things that we do at Girl Guides is community service, and that's where we do something to help someone else. So to make someone else feel better, to help cheer them up, to provide things for them if they're lacking, and we're sharing things. And one of the things that I know my Girl Guides unit have been doing is we've been doing some chalk art. You might have been doing some of this too, but if you haven't, it might be a good fun thing that you can do. And so this will help people in your community smile and cheer them up when they're walking past your house or your driveway. And here's a few examples. This one of them says, be kind, and there's some stars, and there's a friend of mine, one of my Girl Guides, drawing a lovely sign that says, be brave, on her driveway. So maybe this is something you can do this week before that we have the next meeting. See what you can think of. You might come up with some other pictures or some other ideas that you can draw with the chalk. If you don't have chalk, you can actually make chalk out of some flour and water and food colour at home. So maybe that's something you can challenge yourself to find a recipe to make some kind of chalk. And it doesn't hurt anything. It'll just wash off when it rains. And that's one of the things that Baden-Powell says, and we all hopefully know who Robert Baden-Powell is. And the most worthwhile thing is to try to put happiness into the lives of others. So I like to think through our community service, we can do that and help other people. So that's what I'd like you guys to do this week. There's I'm just reading some of the chat messages. Alice, do you want to read out some of the messages that are coming up in chat there? There's a couple about
I can see Olivia's already drawn some teddy bears and rainbows.
Yep, so yeah, she's saying that she's got some grass. You got rid of all the leaves and twigs. That'll be a challenge to see if you can find some extra ones, girls. And yeah, some people have been putting teddy bears out in their windows or their driveways as well. That's been a really good one too. So that's my challenge for you. I'll just very quickly go back over that. I'm just going to see if this is going to, no, that's the one that doesn't want to work. Bear with me, I'm just going to go back to this one. So this week, this is what I'd really like you to do. So we're going to have a virtual camp at home. Come and sleep out on the 30th of April. That's this Thursday night. This is just something you're doing at home with your family. There is no, for parents that are listening, there is no actual online interaction between the campers. So it's a really safe, fun activity that you can do at home. However, we'd love you to register. This is the information to register, and this will go through Scouts WA. They're keeping the numbers. You can register. If there's any leaders on this call, you can register your whole unit if you want. Check around with girls that would like to attend and share this information, or girls can register individually as well to attend the camp. So pack your bag, build a tent, build a campfire if you can, or a pretend one, that works as well. Sometimes you can make a campfire out of lollies. That's fun too. Cook a meal and sleep in the shelter. Share your photos with us, because we'd really like to see what you do and how you participate in the virtual camp at home. Looking in your badge books to see what badges, the activities that you choose to do. You might choose to do others. These are just some ideas that can help you get started, and you can talk to your own leader or some other girls in your unit about what you can do to work towards, do some badge work from this activity. Make some nature pictures, see what you can think of. These are just some ideas. You might think of some awesome ones, and take some photos. I'd love to see what you come up with. And please do some chalk art for community service this week. I'd really like to see some pictures of what you do and how creative you are, because I know most of the Girl Guides in WA are incredibly creative, and you come up with some really amazing pictures. So, and that's it. Try and help and make other people happy. So that's pretty awesome, and it's been great. We can't see you, but we know that you're out there, and it's really been fun to share this first meeting with you. Again, you can register. Your parents can go to that link. This is being recorded, so it will be up on the Girl Guides WA website a little bit later. And yeah, really good to see you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much.